Hey folks, this is Best in Slot. Welcome back to my coverage of the Europe pack for Planet Zoo. It's not just an animal pack, my friends. It is indeed a construction pack as well. Absolutely chock-a-block with some of the best construction items they've ever included in a pack. Actually might be my favourite construction pack ever. It's a pretty bold statement, but that is how it feels. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. You guys will be the judge. It includes a jaunty hat though, which is exciting. It's very jaunty. So let's get started. We're going to go through every item. First of all, we have bridge stuff. Basically does what it says on the tin. It's a sign, but pretend it's a tin. It lets you make your own bridge. So if you want to grab this here, you can go like that, and then you can grab it again, go along again, go along again. Bam! Made a bridge. And you'd add your fences and your pathways over the top. The stuff at the back is supports for the bridge, so they stack on top of each other, and then that's the roof of it right there, and that kind of supports your bridge. There's these things here, which, as you can see, kind of sit over the archway to make your bridge look a little bit fancier, like so. And those bricks, if you want to kind of do your own design a little bit. And then there's these pieces of wood, which I cannot figure out what they're for. I think it's meant to sit under the bridge instead of the... I don't know. Moving on. Right, so into the good stuff. So we've got loads of new heraldry kind of things. Tons and tons of new flags for starters. All of them moving about in the wind. As you can see, tons and tons of different types, all colour customizable. Very exciting. We've got some new limestone, I keep wanting to call it lime wire, some new limestone brackets and pillars and these limestone slabs, which I've used thousands of times. They are immensely helpful. There's also this star and this flag here are part of a set we'll see in just a second, but it's actually really cool. There's a whole set of neon items as part of the Europe set, and they look fantastic. Look at that. I know it's just a light up star, but it's also got the proper neon tubing look to it. You know, it's curvy, and instead of it just being pure light, you can see inside it. It's got these kind of pockets, these bubbles of brighter light, just like neon would in reality. It's very cool stuff. Really, really big fan of the neon stuff. Got a clock that actually works. Look at it. Chuka, 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 chuka. Exciting. A bit more in the limestone decorations. These are the tops of your buildings. These took me. I was building for about 7 hours before I realised what these things are for. And it was only because I've been... a lot of this pack is based on Amsterdam. Amsterdam is a Dom version of Amsterdam. There's inspiration from Venice, and I think a little bit from like Germany and a little bit of London and stuff like that. But generally speaking, there's a lot of Amsterdam-looking stuff. And the only reason I found out how these work is literally because I looked at pictures of Amsterdam, and I found someone that had built their building just like this, and it's kind of something like that where it sits. You see how it looks on top of there. We'll get to those in a little bit. But yeah, the clock, we've got a fleur-de-lis, and a few iron brackets sort of looking decorations. These are really cool. Again, you see these on buildings in Amsterdam all over the place, so that's pretty sweet. And a little limestone wall topper decoration there. As I mentioned, the flag and the star are part of this set. This is a marquee set. It's kind of, you could use it for a lot of things, like little markets and stuff, but it's definitely Christmas market in the vibe. You know, it definitely feels Christmas markety. So we've got two pitched roofs there, and we've got this big slopey middle one, and these are the pieces of wood that you use to hold up your marquee, like so. It would be in the air, but still, you hold it up like that. And then you can use these for the sides, these pieces of fabric. We've got big chunky fabric, we've got a curved fabric, and we've got a straight fabric, just to round out your marquee, build up your Christmas market kind of shebang. Definitely want to do something with that in the future. Okay. We've also got more roof stuff. Basically, these are all various limestone / painted brick roof toppers. So any of the ones with this brown colour, so all of them except these two actually, are colour changeable if you want to do that. So you can make them fit any single building in the... There we go. If you just have the craziest looking building, maybe this is what your park looks like. I'm not here to judge. There you go. It's a Teletubby park. But yeah, these are really cool. Again, you can see I've used them on... most of the buildings actually, because they just add a nice little bit of height, and again they are a very common thing in Amsterdam where the front of the buildings tends to be super elaborate and then the side of the buildings is much more chill. Still in the architecture, so that's part of architecture, this is part of architecture. Moving on, so this is the rest of it. We've got some shutters. I saw people on Twitter really excited about these. They are actually pretty fantastic. You can see I've used them, and if you, I'll just find like a good example there. They are sitting on there, and Don't use them that often, clearly. It's got some hanging down and over the top of that roof there. They're just really cool. They're really versatile, which is really nice. And so there's 5 different types. Got a permanently shuttered window here. And then you've got these bigger shutters and these little shutters. I much prefer the little shutters, personally. We also have hinges, as you can see. These let your shutters move, basically. I mean, they'll move anyway. Well, they won't move anyway once you place them, you know what I mean? But it's just a nice little detail if you want to go that way. Now we have the good stuff. The stained glass, and it is proper stained glass. You can see if we move this in front of the shutters, you can see the shutters through it. I think that's really, really cool. And if I go around this way, you can see everything else. So it does work as proper stained glass. It lets images through, it lets light through. Really cool stuff. And it's all these very classically European, kind of Edwardian vibe, Tudory kind of vibe, I would suggest, style of stained glass where everything's a little bit humanistic. You'll see what I mean in a second. So anyway, it's got stained glass for the badger, got stained glass for the fallow deer. Don't know what that is. We've got stained glass for the Ibex, who's currently playing a, not quite a violin, is it? It's getting there though. It's like a mandolin. I don't know what it is, with a bow and arrow. And we've got the lynx. And the lynx is really selling what I meant by the humanistic kind of approach, the anthropomorphism. It's too late, guys. It's too late. But yeah, it looks really cool. I like how, look, you can see how, there's the break point there. So instead of carrying on the pieces, every time the piece ends at the break point, just like it would in actual stained glass. I think that's a really cool little detail. So the salamander has unfortunately been neglected, as the exhibit animals often are, but there's a final one here, and you can see the whole gang gets together there on their little adventure. And actually, if you go check out the Frontier Twitter or the forums, they've been telling the story about these characters over the last week or so, which is pretty cool. Although I don't know why they've changed the colours, because they look worse. These two are fine. The deer and the lynx has gone like just super downgrade. Anywho, so there's that, but there's more stained glass. The salamander does get its time in the sun. That would sit on top of there, actually, preferably, and it would, be playing its little bagpipe type item. Nice, get the whole gang together. And then you've got tons of little varieties right here. We've got some flowers, we've got some snakes, got a little squirrel, some more heraldry, some birds and fish and the moon. And this wibbly wobbly one here. So lots of stained glass, lots of colour customizing there. You can do what you want with them, and obviously just make them look really cool. Is this colour customizable? It's not. So I think those ones. Oh, you are though. No, you're not. You say you are though. Oh, there we go. Okay, well, it's this one. This. Bam. So these ones are all colour customizable, but not the main ones. Fairly obviously, but really cool. Really excited to use those. I haven't used them quite yet, but excited to dive into those. That's nearly it for architecture. Of course, there is a building set. This is the Rustic European Stone, I believe it's called. Yes, Rustic European Stone. Really cool set. I'm not going to go through each item because they are all the same all the time. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. Really nice vibe to it. So I've started working on a park. We'll talk about that later today. But when I first saw this set and a couple other things you're going to see, my first thought was Bloodborne Park, and I started building an entire set of like these medieval horror themed buildings. I ended up scrapping that for what you're seeing here, but the set is really good for that kind of thing. It's good for other stuff as well, but it's me, so. Right, moving on. Signs. This is where things get really good. So we've got some flags here. We've got one for, again, the salamander, not rejected. I love that these are the same characters. Look, still got the musical instrument and the bow. We've got the little trumpet. Got the walking stick. Got the thing and got the... it's not quite a bagpipe, but it's like a quasi bagpipe. And it's even breathing fire. These are really cool, generally speaking. European animal signs. So we've got loads of different flags there. And then we've got the neon signs. We've got a drink, we've got a burger, we've got coffee, we've got ice cream, we've got a milkshake, and we've got pizza. And if you zoom in, you see, yeah, the like tubes. Like you can see there's like this thin layer of like acetate, like really thin, skinny plastic where it's stuck onto, which is a really nice little detail. And if you want to make your own, you've got all the neon shapes right here. I would have liked even more of these, like a little circle, because you can't really do a little circle with this. And if some of these shapes were in here, that'd be really cool. Let's get even more creative. But that's really just, it's an awesome looking set, as you're about to see. So there's the neon tubes, but this, bam! It looks so good. Trust me, when you've got this in a park, it looks really good at night. It's really good. And these are all colour customizable. I chose all of these colours. So, yeah, big fan of the neon. Exactly the kind of thing I really want to see. So there's the signs. Moving on, we also have lights. Now these will appear in lights as well, but I just took them in signs because why not? So we've got more lights over here. So we've got a lantern. It doesn't come with a candle in it. You have to put in the candle yourself, as you can see. We've got some little candle holders over here. Super cute. And we've got another... Well, obviously we have a candle. It'll be a bit pointless otherwise. Let's stick that in there. I've not actually done that before. And what's this? We've got a ceiling fan. It's a bit of an odd inclusion, but nice for restaurants, which is a new factor in this. Actually, I should put these in my restaurant. Really good for restaurants, which is a new addition to the game. The free edition, you don't even need the pack for that. So these are all parts to make your ceiling fan look like a ceiling fan. This is a ceiling rose. God knows what that is. A couple more lights over here. And a bunch of lights over here. So we've got all these antlers and star shapes and stuff like that. Really nice and Christmassy. We've got fairy lights. These are all for hanging up your lights, basically, except this one, which is for the LED food truck support. I don't know why that's different, really. But that's for the food truck, and that's for walls. I've been using that one all the time. I should really change that. These are just little M bits. They're all part of the building structures for the LED signs. And then we've got these here. These are signs that are designed to mainly hang on lampposts more than anything else, I would suggest. And there's one for every animal. But this is all a bit pointless. Let's check this out at night time. So those are our ceiling lights. Very funky, very like 60s looking. There's the ceiling fan, which is a light in and of itself. Look at the candle holder at night. That's adorable. There's the candle. Really, again, Bloodborne is instantly where my head went because of the candle. But it looks really good inside the lantern, especially if you put the lantern in the roughly the correct spot. It looks even better. Doesn't that look really good? And again, Bloodborne. But this is even... Look at that. What an absolute stunner. Again, you can see all the little LEDs within the tube, which is really nice. I love this. Again, Christmas market vibes completely. Especially with this stuff here. These are our fairy lights all splaying out all over the place. Really, really holiday vibes. And then these are your lamppost signs. I don't know why I did those in different colours, but just roll with me on this. You can actually change the colour of these, though. As I kind of just mentioned. So we can make that like that, we can make that like that, you can do, you know, anything, basically. Make it crazy! Make it crazy! Look at that, how intense that is. Yeah, really cool. Again, big fan. Anything that lights up makes me happy, and there's tons of really cool lights in this set, so. Moving on to props. Which means we're going to start over here. So, these are your, what are these called again? Mooring posts. So you stick these in the water and it's for your gondolas, which we'll see in a second, or your boats in general. It's just a way for boats to hook themselves up and obviously like not move in the water, basically. So you put these in the water and these are toppers for the mooring post, like so. Got some shields, which is pretty cool. That one's Scottish. It's not meant to be, but it is. There you go, just to show you that there is some customization there. We've got some signs, all of these like animal signs, these all come in multiple parts. So everything you'll see here, this is a 5-part badger. There's a really nice like rough tumble kind of quality to them. The deer with the largest neck the world has ever seen. The Ibex looking absolutely terrified. This Ibex has seen some stuff. The lynx and the fire salamander, which kind of looks like little Godzilla from '98. Awesome. And then there's a gondola cushion and the gondola hat, and of course the gondola itself. So you can, if you want, there you go, bam, gondola. I don't know why that's not just part of it, but I guess now you can choose. Maybe you want 2 cushions, maybe you want 1 cushion. At the end of the day, now you can put cushions on other things. Maybe you want to put them on your chairs, on your benches. Oh, maybe we should do that actually. And the hat. There you go. The hat's going on a lovely journey. And of course, the gondola is also colour customizable, because everything blim blamming is. There you go. Completely different vibe already. Very cool stuff. We've also got the fences here. That's the curved ones. Those are the straight ones. It comes basically, it doesn't come as like a line. You can't get this line without the fence, which is a bit weird, but it comes like that. And then when you hit the end, you just kind of stick this piece on at the end, like so. There's your fence. We've also got these fences here, these iron chainy looking ones, and those are the lines for that if you want to make those. And then we've got a big old bell. Very excited to use the big old bell. Very cool. We've got a big bell and a little bell. And then some more fleur-de-lis. And some little brass finials, as they're known. I haven't really figured out what these are for, per se. You just stick them on the end of buildings. Obviously, you'd hang the bell up somewhere. Look at that bell. Isn't that beauty? Should we check out inside? Let's have, are we betting that there's going to be a bell thing? There is a bell thing! A bing bong, as it's known, officially. Okay, in case you didn't notice already, there's a big old coach right over here. Very cool. You can see it's got the little Planet Zoo symbol in there. We've got a fire hazard kit. We've got a relatively floating chair. Can we get inside? Yeah, it's even got a little seat. Even though you can't see inside, I thought, oh, just chuck a little detail in there. We've got some really haphazardly modelled seats in there, even on the top floor as well. Very cool. So we've got a European style coach, of course, colour customizable as well, and that comes along with a ferry, a big old. I've not actually checked inside here. Ah, come on, Frontier. Ferry though, it's got like a life raft thingy at the back, another fire kit. Again, I'd love to, like, this is already modelled, right? I'd love to have access to this, like it's an item. And solar panels. I'd really like solar panels that aren't a facility item. There's a solar panel that I can place, that'd be really cool. Oh yeah, really cool ferry, again, completely customizable. Very, got like a cartoony aesthetic to say the least, but it looks pretty cool. We'll be back to these in a little bit. We'll come to that in just a second. Oh, these are the bridges I mentioned earlier. So there's a limestone bridge and a brick bridge. Painted bricks, you can change the colour there, and you can change the colour of the limestone as well. These are more, I would suggest, more like Venice style than Amsterdam style, based on what I've seen. You can just do it like that. Bam, easy bridge. Looks really good. Really nice, really sleek, you know, really all comes together nicely. You'd have to put your path, I believe, underneath that, but I've tried to do it in game and it's super easy, so I wouldn't worry about that. So that's pretty cool. This is the drawbridge. Haven't really figured out how this is meant to fit into everything else at this point in time. I mean, you just leave a gap in the middle, I guess. But would you have the... I don't really know. But there's your drawbridge. I'm sure this is like a really good way to make this look good. The actual model itself is fantastic. It's a really, really cool looking drawbridge. There's the lever there. Lift up the whole thing. Let your ferries through, of course, is the idea. But I've been saving this to last. This is the best bit. There's this whole huge suite of damage items. Loads of things to make your buildings look absolutely wrecked. It's really, really cool stuff. So... these are all the surface damage. All these are different ones. So all these are individual. There's like scratchy ones, like cracks, and there's like deeper gouges, and there's gouges that go into cracks, and there's big ones and little ones, and there's corner ones, as you can see here. There's these deep ones, there's these ones with like harder edges for the bottom or the top. Have that a bit further down, like so. Yeah, just I've been using these constantly. Again, Bloodborne was my first idea. Really big fan of that. But it's not just surface damage like this, as you can see here. This is actually a stone building, but this is a damage decal brick. So even though this is a flat object, technically this is sitting on top of the wall, it does look genuinely like it's, you know, like you've dug through this rustic stone exterior and it's just like cheap brick underneath. It's pretty cool. So all this brick that you can see here, absolutely all for even this edge bit here and this bit down here, these corner bits, is a decal that you can stick onto your buildings. I think it's a really, really cool set. I'm really, really happy with it. There's a big one down there, as you can see. And that's not even all of them. If we nip on over here, you'll see a few more. So we've got one that reveals rustic stone underneath. We've got one that reveals painted brick. We've got loads of these grungy ones, just like general dirt and grime. And we've got some moss ones as well. So you can see them all there. Awesome little set. Really the highlight of the set for me. This and the neon signs. Absolute highlights for me. Really, really cool stuff. I think that's it for props, it is. So we're going to move on to centerpieces, which is unfortunately lacking to say the least. We've got this new Ibex. This is your new, you know, the challenge statue that you get. So you could get this up to gold if you did the challenge. And these are planters, and these actually sit on top of fences. So the planter sits right on top of the fence, and then the planter holder sits underneath that. And then you've got the mulch, which is specifically sized to fit. It only fits in the very top of the planter. You'd have it like here, but it sits on top of the planter and lets you summon Cthulhu, seemingly. I like to think that's a little Lovecraftian thing. I don't think it's meant to be, but it definitely has that vibe. Right, so moving down this way, we're going to check out the foliage. So these are, I believe, the olive trees, which are pretty cool looking, actually. You can see lots of... You can't quite see the olives, but you kind of feel like you can. You can see the little olives. Look at them, all these little olives. Obviously, when you get right in there, there's a vibe as well. But the trunk is... again, kind of an eldritch nightmare. So this is olive tree 4, so we've got 4 of those. Yeah, really cool looking, and then they just get a little bit smaller. Still nice and wibbly wobbly and whirly around, and there's our little baby olive tree over there. These aren't part of the pack, so I'm assuming they are new, but they're not part of the pack. But these are basically grapevines. So you can see we've got grapes. Yeah, I've got grapes, grapevines like this, and then we've got a red grape and a white grape, different shape one by default. So you can either have these are grape bliss, and then you attach the grapes yourselves, or you pick a red one or a white one as need be. These are London plane trees, get pretty big, nice sort of interesting white bark, really original, little nodule there. Love the way it looks. Like a lot of trees in London, really. The bark looks like it's kind of faded away to reveal this light white interior. Cool stuff. And then, finally, we have the Cork Oak Tree, which I don't have much to say about. It's just a nice tree. Good job, Cork Oak. Good job, buddy. So there's your new foliage. It's not a heavy pack on the foliage, really. I think there's a new plant, a new flower. But I wasn't sure, so I skipped it. Let's nip over to the left to facilities. Some really cool stuff in facilities. See if we make a noise. I don't know if this is new. This is cobblestone pathing. It is the newest path, if you know what I mean. So if we go into our paths, it's down here in the bottom right, which I think means it's new, but it could not be. I honestly do not remember. But if it is new, there you go. It's free. We've got this heater here, which is really good. This is like a patio heater for your restaurants and stuff like that. Restaurants, again, being a new feature. Look at that fire. Give us a fire tool, please. But, obviously, the most exciting part of facility is these two things here. We've got these are entrances. So it's the ferry in the country from before, but they actually act as a zoo entrance. You just have to attach your path to either the back of the ferry, which you can see compared to that one. It's actually opened up and flattened out and letting people in. And, okay, it's a bit weird that people just kind of emerge from within the abyss that is your European coach, but it's still pretty cool. And your guests will enter the park from there and there. You do still have to have a proper entrance somewhere in the park. These won't work unless they're connected to a proper entrance somehow. But you could have this here, and then you could have that miles away, and then you could have a proper entrance miles away as well, and they would all then function. The other cool thing of facilities is this right here. This is the European food truck. You've got a little hot plate there, a little sink in there, which again, I'd love. Just give me the sink. I'd love the sink. You know, I'd really like that in the cupboards. That'd be cool. I'd really like those as items. I'm just saying. Anyway, adorable little truck. Love the design on this thing. Absolutely phenomenal looking. Maybe my favourite item in the entire pack. And if you pick any like sort of tepid sort of what's the word, pastel sort of colours, it just looks really good. I'm deeply, deeply in love with this thing. And to use it, it's super duper easy. We've got a new, I think they're new as well. If I go into guest facilities and drink stalls, you can see we've got these counters now. So they're just kind of standalone, free-form kind of things. And you just kind of like, you stop being stupid and you just do it properly. I'm just going to put her there. Bear with me. And we're going to position snap. No, we don't have to. I'm just going to go like that. Bam. There you go. She's there, selling her milkshakes in the food truck. Isn't that really cool? I absolutely love that. I've got a couple of food trucks in my park as well, because I just think they look... Yeah, there's something about them. This little chubby shape. Oh, I could talk about these things for ages, but we must move on. So those are your facilities. Over here we have others, question mark. So we've got a couple of new habitat items. One of them is the goat climbing mountain, which I'm assuming the Ibex can use at the very least, and maybe the... Probably not the fallow deer, but at least the Ibex. I haven't seen this in action quite yet, although you guys probably have done, because it will have been in my video earlier on, I'm sure. But that's really cool. There's a new scarecrow thing, which I would have loved for the last park. A new scarecrow feeder, which is pretty awesome as well. Probably for the deer, if I had to guess, out of the new animals. There's the path, like I said. And you guys will have to tell me if this is new or not, because I honestly couldn't tell you, but I don't recognise it. This is a whole new set of, at least I think it's new, a whole set of natural climbing items. So although this looks like a fairly haphazard trunk and all these sticks look fairly haphazard, they are climbable and natural looking. That's the whole idea. And same with these bridges here. Climbable natural bridge, and climbable natural platform. So if you just wanted a slightly more naturalistic looking exhibit, you would use these and it would look pretty bloody cool. And then there's this, which if you haven't seen it already, is the new coolest item in the whole thing. So this is the animal burrow, and you can see, you actually click it, it unveils this whole area down below. So your burrowing animals will actually go down there. And the cool thing is actually not this. I mean, that's already cool, right? The animals will go down there and be underground. That's awesome. But this is very cool. Wait for it. I am deeply in love. This is so cool. It's like running like a cryptid cam. Okay, it's not meant to be a cryptid cam. It's meant to be a, you know, like an animal burrow. what it says on the tin. But it's got the noises, it's got the time, the day on the bottom left and stuff. Like, it's a proper camera style footage. It's a little bit lower quality. It feels dark and that there's a little night vision or a little light going on. It's very, very cool stuff. Big fan of that as well. It's got the same vibe as the cameras that we could put in and link to the TVs a while ago. It's a new feature. And, you're not allowed to look at that yet. And that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you some buildings that I made. This one is inspired by Frontier themselves. But just general, there's my restaurant. So this is a new restaurant facility. Basically, you get a little hub in here, which is this thing here, and a block that goes around to around here. And it kind of gives you the whole inside. So if I click it, you'll see that's the actual restaurant hub itself. There you go. Really cool stuff. And then you just build the exterior around it like I've done. You can see all these... the damage and the windowsills under there and all that kind of jazz. And yeah, you see these little pieces of iron, all the roof decorations, all the damages, blah, 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 blah. Lots of buildings that I made for the park that we're doing tonight. I'm not going to talk any more about that because people will comment. You can comment tonight, okay? Right, but that's it for me. There's just a good example of the kind of buildings you can build. If you're not even very good at building buildings, as we know I'm not, you can, you know, build some pretty cool looking things, thanks in part to the new items. They really do let you make a pretty good rendition of Amsterdam. It's got to be said, it's pretty on point. Right, anyways, I'm going to go. Tons of awesome items, I think you'll all agree. Let me know what is your favourite in the comment section down below. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Thank you for joining me. Throw me a like if you enjoyed the video. Cheers much love as always. Bye-bye.